Hello and welcome to the Analog Leftie. My name is Elise. In my previous video, I compared the Traveler's Company Traveler's Notebook to the #1 best-selling alternative in Amazon, which is the September Leather. That video focused mostly on the journal systems themselves, so today I want to continue on and take a look at the refills and inserts that they have in common that I currently own. So let's get started. There are many similarities for the paper refills for both brands. If we put them on top of each other like this, you'll see that there's really no difference in size. Both come at 4.25 inches in the width and 8.25 inches in length. Both come with 64 pages or 32 sheets, and you'll see that they're also both staple bound, and their cover is made of cardstock. Both companies have lined refills with a 6.5mm ruling, and they also have grid refills that both have 5mm rulings. The main differences would be in the actual materials that are used to make these notebooks. Traveler's Company's most basic refills use MD Paper White, which is fountain pen friendly, bleed resistant, and feather resistant. If I'm not mistaken, the paper is around 80 GSM. You can watch my previous video for more info on MD paper. On the other hand, the September Leather uses thicker 100 GSM paper and has a more creamy tone to it. If we put them next to each other like this, you'll be able to see that MD paper is on the whiter side and September Leather is creamier. I couldn't find specific information on whether September Leather uses a special type of paper, but I think the way they make sure the refills handle a variety of writing instruments is to compensate with thicker paper. They both use some sort of craft cardstock for covers, but Traveler's Company's is more pliable compared to September Leather, which is on the more rigid side. I'm having more potential paper cut vibes from September Leather, and because it's so rigid, I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but bending the cover is already creating some wear on the spine because it's just too rigid and it's not handling that flex well. Personally, I like the pliability of the Traveler's Company notebooks because they feel more workable. Like if you bend them like this, it's not like they're gonna crease so bad. September Leather is just too rigid for my liking, if that makes sense. In terms of the paper and writing performance, Traveler's Company is super versatile for a variety of writing tools. It's smooth, but also has the perfect amount of toothiness for a pleasant writing experience, regardless if you're using a fountain pen, a ballpoint, gel pen, or pencil. There would be some ghosting at the back, but not too much because of the lightweight paper. But the good thing is the ink doesn't soak through or seep to the next page. September Leather also takes well to a variety of writing tools in that there is no feathering or bleeding. But you'll see here that I've had some struggles with my gel pens that are on the finer side. You can see here the Uni 1 in the 0.38 and 0.5mm, and also the Pentel Energel with a 0.5 millimeter tip. I think this is due to both the paper surface being harder because it's thicker, and I'm not, oops, and I'm not sure how well it translates onto the camera, but there the texture is more pronounced. Like, it's not the same toothiness as Traveler's Company, but because of the pronounced texture, it makes it more difficult for my finer ballpoints and roller balls to do their job and lay down the ink on the paper. I think for September leather, juicier pens and thicker ballpoints would work best. In terms of pricing and availability, Traveler's Company's most basic regular sized refills, so the blank, line, grid, and dot, can be bought for about 6 to 8 Canadian dollars a piece from authorized retailers. There are more specialized ones like planner refills and art focused refills like watercolor paper would be more expensive at varying levels. On the other hand, you can buy September leather refills in packs of 3 for about 18 Canadian dollars through Amazon. However, they only have blank, lined, grid, dotted, and blank weekly planner refills. They don't have as much variety as Traveler's Company. Personally, if you're paying for almost the same price each for both brands, I'd go with Traveler's Company refills because the quality of materials is better. But if you can't access a shop that carries them, September leather would be a good alternative. Next, let's look at the craft folders. So I'm gonna mention that the September leather one came with a starter kit. Meanwhile, I bought the Traveler's Company one for 8 Canadian dollars from 26 Market, which is a local stationery shop here in Winnipeg. So the craft folders are very similar in construction. You can see that the shapes are very similar, even the flaps look the same, and they also have the same folding and gluing points at the bottom, and they also have the same notches. The middle notch is how the folders are secured to the elastic of the leather journal so that they don't slide along. There are a few key differences though. Much like the refill covers, Traveler's Company uses a more pliable cardstock, while September leather is more rigid. I'm getting the same paper cut vibes. I think the major advantage of September leather is that it has a total of 6 card slots, while Traveler's Company only has 2. They're really maximizing the functionality with the real estate that they have. But the thing that I like about the Traveler's Company one are these 2 crease lines along the spine so that it can create for a more natural folding curve, especially when you put a refill in between. So, for example, we want to put a refill in between when we set up our notebook. As you can see, the crease lines follow the contour of the spine of the refill. With September leather, if we try it, it would just have a tendency to jut out because the folder wants to like fold completely in the middle because of the lack of crease lines. The advantage of that little design choice becomes more apparent when you slip a refill cover through one of the flaps of the Traveler's Company craft folder. This is one of the ways that people MacGyver their Traveler's Company notebooks to hold more refills and easily take them out when they use it. So let's do that right now. So as you can see, we can close this craft folder while the covers are slipped on the back end, and it would still follow the contours of the refill. It's not an awkward shape. Like, you'll see that this portion is showing a bit, but on the back it's perfectly flush. With September leather, let's try doing that. Let's cover, and you can't even fold it because it doesn't have the crease lines to follow the contour of the notebook. So that's just one of the more hacky advantages of the craft folder of Traveler's Company. Next, let's look at the PVC zipper pouches. Again, the September leather one was included in the starter set. Meanwhile, I purchased the Traveler's Company one separately for 10 Canadian dollars. The PVC zipper pouches, again, are very similar in concept. On one side, it has a zipper pouch where you can securely store things, while the other side has pockets where you can slip things in. The Traveler's Company one is made with thicker, sturdier material though, and it actually uses a YKK zip, which I thought can only be found in clothes and bags. September leather is ever so slightly thinner, and if we compare the sizes like so, it's just a smidge narrower than Traveler's Company, but a lot shorter. So it's not possible to slip a refill cover inside of the pocket of September leather. With Traveler's Company, you can do that, and that's also another hacky trick that people do to add more refills to their Traveler's Company journal. So let's see how that works. With September leather, right, it's at the back. So the back has the bigger pocket, and as you can see, it is shorter than the refill, so there's no way you can put the refill cover through that pocket. But with Traveler's Company, it is very possible. So yeah, it's very possible, and it's quite a snug fit, so it's not gonna fall out. However, I do like that with September leather, one side has a full pocket and the other side has 3 card slots where you can put business cards or Instax films. I wish it was the same for Traveler's Company. I guess they do sell a specific refill that has card pockets, but it's nice to have in the zipper pouch. Also, I like to have the case portion on the front of the Traveler's notebook, and for Traveler's Company, that results to the zipper to be at the top when closed. So sometimes when I'm writing, as a left-handed person, it becomes a nuisance when I write on this side. For September leather, the zipper is at the bottom when closed. And there you have it. In terms of function, the refills and inserts from Traveler's Company and September leather are very similar. Overall though, I like the paper refills from Traveler's Company, no contest. But there are things from the September leather craft folder and zipper pouch that I wish was in the Traveler's Company, such as the card pockets. But as I mentioned in my last video, there's nothing stopping me from mixing and matching things to create the best setup for me. I hope these last couple of videos have been informative and helpful, especially if you're on the fence on whether to get the Traveler's Company or the September Leather Traveler's Notebook system. I'd also love to hear your thoughts if you have either of these or both. Which one do you like better? And if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate your time and you for being here. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.